Hey guys, it is Carl Brown from GL365 Academy. I have a beautiful classic song for you guys today. We're going to learn how to play Joe Cocker's version of You Are So Beautiful. Now, this was originally written by Billy Preston and Bruce Fisher, and Billy Preston, also known as the Fifth Beatle, recorded it first, but Joe Cocker's version, a little bit slower version, became really the version everybody knows these days. It's a beautiful take on it. It is in the key of A flat major, which makes it a bar chord purgatory for a guitarist. So I am using a capo, or a capo if you're in Europe, at the first fret, which is going to standard tune guitar, but this is going to help us eliminate the bar chords, which I know many of you guys enjoy, me myself. All right, so we're going to start here. I'm going to call out the chords as if they're standard open position chords, and just so I'm going to say this is a G major chord, because compared to the capo or capo, it is. All right. So it'll make it easier instead of calling it an A flat major chord, which in reality it is. So let's start here. We're going to start with a G major chord. This is the intro to the track. Let me just play it real quick, actually. So obviously, this being on piano, we're not going to be able to do all those little fancy piano arpeggiations and stuff like that. So sometimes to mimic that, you'll hear me instead of strum the chord, I'll pick across it just kind of randomly. No rhyme or reason to it. I'm just kind of trying to make it fill up the sound and make it sound a little bit more interesting. You can choose when to do that or not. So, all right, so we're going to start here with this G major. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take, just lift up these two fingers and move your first finger to the first fret of the low E string. Now what you're going to have to do as well is let the first finger mute the A string underneath it, and then the rest of the G chord still stays the same. So we have this. So you're basically changing that bass note. Then we're going to go to an E minor 7 chord. You're going to play that by just doing a E minor chord, normal E minor, and then add the third fret above the capo on the B string. A lot of 7th chords in this song. And then we're just going to go to a C major. So you're going to repeat those 4 chords twice, and that is going to be the intro. One more time. G, or F in the bass. E minor 7. End it with a C. Pause for dramatic effect. And then we get into the actual song. Now the song just kind of repeats the same thing twice. And then there's a quick little ending. So now what I did at the beginning, I'll show you kind of how I'm doing this. I'm trying to prevent bar chords a lot of times. And I'm also trying to mimic the piano movement, how the voicers are moving for the piano chords. What I mean by that is this. I could do this. So what's going on there? It's a G major to a G major 7 to a G dominant 7, which is a popular chord move you've probably heard in quite a few tracks. But instead of having that voice move on top, in the piano it moves in the lower voices. So I'm going to do it like this. So it requires a little bit different fingerings. And then when we go back through it again, I'll play it just a little bit different, but no bar chords, don't worry. So we're going to start with just a G, and then we're going to take this to a G major 7th chord. Obviously I know it's an A flat major 7th chord, but remember we're just comparing everything to the capo here to make it easy. So 3 frets up from the capo on the 6th string, on the E string, and then 4 frets up on the D, G, and 3 frets up on the B. Once again, you have to mute that A string in there with the bottom of your index finger. And then it's pretty easy to get to the dominant 7th from here. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take, you need to move this note down the note on the D string down 1 fret. And you can do that by moving this note over and grabbing the note that your 2nd finger was playing with. So just take your ring finger and play the same note you were just playing with your middle finger, and that lets you then reach the middle finger over to the D string 4th fret. Still muting that A. So we have this. So just those 2 fingers move. So we have you are so beautiful. Next chord is gorgeous chord, C major 7th chord. So it's just like a C major chord that we just played. Just pick up your index finger. Let that B string ring open. All right, now from there, we're gonna have, kind of a dominant 9th chord here. So what we're gonna be doing here is we're gonna play the 1st fret on the low E string, then the open A, 1st fret on the D, 2nd fret on the G, and then the 1st fret on the B string. Don't hit the high E string. And now when I get to this chord, I like to pick across it more than anything because it's kind of a cool chord. So that kind of helps you grab it quicker. So you can go from this D5 major, and then you can just kind of, you can put the fingers down as you pick across it so you don't have to grab that whole shape. It's kind of uncomfortable against that capo, but it sounds killer. So, and then we go back to the same G major 7th, G dominant 7th that we did earlier. So far I have this. You are so beautiful to me. So we did that, and now the vocals come back in, and he does that same chord progression, but it sounds weird to jump back to this and do that again. So what I did from here, when we go back around to sing the vocals again, I'm just gonna come up and grab this A flat major chord. Well, obviously a G major chord now. Can't break our rule here. So, but you don't have to do the full bar. Sounds better actually if you don't. So it's the 3rd fret above the capo on the low E string, 5th fret on the A, 5th on the D, 4th on the G. Just those. And then back to the same chords, that G major 7, then the G dominant 7, then back to the same 2 chords. All right, so far we have this, and I just want you to follow along here. You are so beautiful to me. Different shape. You are so beautiful. So right here, we're going to the different section of the song. So from here, it looks like this. To me, can't you see? All right, so that little transition part here. So we're gonna go back to the G major. To me, and here I'm just gonna do go to that G major 7th like that. So what I did here is you just pick up your pinky and your index finger. So the pinky stays away, and then we go and play the index finger there at the 2nd fret off the high E string. Nice chord shape. And we're muting the A string there with the bottom of the middle finger here. And then we go to a D minor chord. Can't you see? And then from there, we're going to go to an A dominant 7 chord, different one than we played before. We kind of want to keep this note there. But it sounds good too. 3rd fret of the low E, 2nd of the A, 3rd of the D, and the open G, open B, 1st fret of the high E. So we can't you see? All right, next section. You're everything I hope for, everything I need. Nice. So we start with that D, the C major 7. And then we're going to go to a B dominant 7th chord. So how are we going to play this? We're going to kind of just hang around in the 4 middle strings. So that's going to be the 2nd fret of the A string, 1st fret of the D, 2nd fret of the G, and then the open B. So that's a dominant 7 chord. Then this is cool. We're going to do this. Just pick up your ring finger. Becomes a augmented chord. Nice. And then put that back down and do a regular B7. So this. So how that goes with the vocals. You're everything I hope for. All right. And then we go to this. Everything. So from here, your E minor chord, and then we're gonna make it an E minor major 7 chord. Yeah, it sounds dissonant, but it's a passing tone there, so it gives it that part that's really its tension there. So I have E minor, then just add that, so it's kind of a stretch, the 4th fret above the capo there, on the high E, the B string, and then resolve it. Just to an E minor 7 that we did earlier. So just bring it back a fret. And then we end it with another dominant 9 chord. So I made this one super easy for you guys to play. Open A string, 2nd fret on the G, open G, open B, open IE. So just, and I like to pick across that. All right, so we have this. Everything I hope for, everything I need. And then we're back. We're back to the, not that. You are so beautiful to me. Now, right there, you see when I went to that dominant 9 chord there before, we used to pause a little bit more before we got to it. But it happens quicker there. After that, kind of this, when we go back into it, you are so beautiful. Quicker change. All right, so then we go back through the song the exact same way that we just did. All those sections, all the way through it again until we get back around at the end of the second time. When we get to this final, there's a little instrumental chord progression to end the song. So to me, he's actually going, to me. You know, he's doing a head voice thing, and it looks like this, the chords. So you see, when I played it at the beginning of the lesson, I basically went through all the parts just once, what we just learned, and then I put that ending on it. In actual performance of a song, you do all of that stuff twice, then you put the ending on it. So the ending, easy. G chord to that major 7, and then instead of going to the dominant 7, just go straight to the C major 7. that dominant chord. Give it a little dramatic effect, and end it with a G chord. All right, hope you guys enjoyed it. It is a gorgeous track. Trying to make it, it's not easy to play because we got a lot of, larger chord voicings and stuff in there, but, nothing too difficult to play, hopefully. You'll get it underneath your fingers quickly, and enjoy playing it. I'll see you guys again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.